Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear outweighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Hey everybody! Wait, why is my background the black one? It's supposed to be the other one. Hold on. Hope y'all are all doing good tonight. Hope everybody can hear me. There it goes. I don't know why it went to the black. Hello, hello. Let's check the sound. I'm giving myself a little bit of time before I hit live for the network. Hope y'all are having a good one. Hello, Kendall. Hello, Dragon. And tomorrow morning, guys, I will be live streaming the memorial for the Waco, the siege at Waco. It's the 31st anniversary tomorrow for the ending of the 51-day siege. And I'll be streaming that. I wanted to go to Waco, but I didn't set it up. I put it off to the last minute and didn't set it up good enough. But I will be streaming their service. I'm going to start at 9:30 so I can kind of talk about it and all that. And then they start at 10. So I'm over here looking at my phone, trying to figure out what it is I'm looking for. Like, hit your channel, chick. For. Okay. Yep, it's working. Oh, it's one of those days. One of those days, guys. So I started Central Time, Ellen Dragon, Central Time. Sorry. Yeah, 31 years, Kendall. 31 years. And I've become friends with a lot of them over the years. And so it's always emotional. Always. And last year was the first year that Clive Doyle was not there because he had passed away from cancer. So it was just an emotional time. My lipstick looks weird. Check this out. My cup matches my lipstick. Silly me. Hi, Mama Dukes. So be that going on tomorrow, and it's a couple of hours, but come in and out, and it'll be here if y'all want to come back and watch it later. Dana, we haven't seen you in a while. How are you? How are you, my friend? I hope everybody has had a good week. I hope everybody's Easter went well. I'm trying to think of what all we've had going on. My week has gotten lost last couple of weeks. Next Thursday, the plan is another interview with another student from the Family Foundation. It's going to be a recorded interview that I'll play live. They're nervous about being live, and I understand that. So Kendall and I will be interviewing them this next week, and playing that on Thursday. So y'all make sure to come back for that. And I'm trying to think. Did I have any other news? Can't remember. I had to wear my glasses today. My eyes were just seeming tired with my contacts earlier. I was like miserable, and then my hair wants to be stupid. So it's going to be one of those days. It's humid. It rained today. Go figure. In Texas, it rained again. Oh, Kendall, you've got one Saturday night. Okay, great. Can't wait to get the wilderness ones going. We have several types of schools that we're talking to, guys, putting some stuff together. And it's emotional. It's so emotional. So we're definitely spreading it out because I know that you guys have all said it's a little much for y'all too. And I don't want everybody overwhelmed. We just want to give them, I want them all to have a chance to tell their story and speak. This glare on my glasses is going to drive me crazy. It's why I don't like to wear them when I'm on stream. So I'm trying to think of what else. Bad storms moving into Kentucky here shortly. Oh, my husband's in Oklahoma and he said it's cold. It's like 51. I'm like, what? It was 80. Of course, the wind felt cold outside a while ago. But so a couple of funnies. First thing this morning, of course, this is funny and gross at the same time. This is how my morning started. Luckily, the whole day didn't go this way. I go to get something out of my purse. I don't even remember what I was going after. I think I was looking for a hair clip, because I had one in my purse. And I'm like, what is that in my purse? It felt weird. Pull my wallet out. My cat got sick in my purse. Yeah. Lovely. I don't know if I can get it all out. I'm probably going to throw the purse away. It's one of my favorites. But on the good plus side of that, I was just having the conversation with my husband about buying another purse, and I kind of have an issue about buying purses, and he hates it because he says I have a ton of purses, and I don't need new ones. But we're girls, we always need new purses. So now I have to buy a new purse. The horrors. Oh. He said it didn't work that way, but yes, it does. Little does he know. But yeah, it was gross. It was so lovely, so lovely. And he's sitting on the counter like, what did I do? I'm like, asshole. He's taken over my kitchen this week. I don't know what his trip is. Like, he's gotten shot with the airsoft gun 3 times. I'm fixing to go get mouse traps because he knows better. I don't know what his deal is. And then today, the funny one, every day I take the geese for a walk. I let them out of their little pen and let them have yard time where they can eat grass that's not in their pen. And I walk them around the property. I start walking further out. They're little, so we don't go the full 2 acres. We just go a little ways out. So today I'm walking them and I'm filming as I'm walking them because they're too cute. Well, I had a phone call from my doctor's office, and then they emailed me and they're like, Big Daddy wants to know how I trained my cat to do that. I'd like to untrain him to not do that. I don't know how he roped the purse. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But they called, and so I emailed them back and I said, so sorry I missed your call. I was walking my geese. And I'm like, I know that's a stupid story to give somebody. It's like the dog ate my homework, but I was really walking the geese. And they laughed. They thought that was the funniest thing ever, that I was walking my geese. But yeah, the babies were getting their exercise, and they're getting huge, guys, getting huge. All right, so tonight's topic, moms who kill. I'm fixing to go live over, I'm going to hit the button to go live on the network. So let me grab this real quick. Changes. And we should be live on the network. So tonight is my episode 2 of Moms Who Kill. My first episode was on Darlie Bertier. If you haven't seen that, it's in the playlist under Moms Who Kill. Steph, if you're in the chat, you want to grab that link and post it? I don't know if she's in the chat. She was going to be in the chat. I woke her up. All right, here's our intro, guys. So, I don't know what I think about Susan's. Well, I do know what I think about Susan Smith. I shouldn't even say that. Hello, Mosaic TV, by the way. Always, when you're through watching on Mosaic, you can come over on YouTube and join the conversation. So, how many are super familiar with Susan Smith? Do we have some of y'all super familiar with Susan? Oh, look, I'm lost with what I was looking at. Yeah, their little faces just break my heart. Alexander was 14 months. I put 4 and 1 in my thing, I believe, in my description, but I was Michael would have been 4, but he had turned 3 2 months before she took their lives. So okay, let's just start from the beginning. I was going to go into what I think about her, and I'm like, oh wait, hold on, let's back up a little bit. So Susan was born Susan Lee Vaughn. Her mom is Linda, and her dad was Henry. Now Henry was very abusive to the mother, allegedly, and things that I read of people saying that he was very, very abusive, but very gentle and loving to Susan. Him and Susan were very close. She was the youngest of 3 kids. And he took his own life when she was just 6 years old. And this was very, very traumatic for her, to the point where she kept a coin collection of his that she carried everywhere, and voice recordings of his. And I just can't. My ex's mother committed, let's not say that word, took her own life. Hey, Steph. And he was, oh Lord, how old was he? I don't even remember how old he was now. But she used to have him walk around the apartment and holding a gun on a pillow. She was that mentally ill. And when she took her life, it definitely messed him up. So at 6, I think he was older than this, though. He would have been probably about 10. But Susan was 6 when this happened. And studies are showing that kids don't bound back like we think they do. Hey, y'all be nice. Quit being ugly. And just because kids play and eat their dinner and like their snacks and are silly and all of those things does not mean that they're okay. And so Susan never got any kind of mental health help therapy for this. I don't think any of the family did. And her mom started seeing a man, Beverly Russell. They called him Bev. Right around then, right after that, I guess it was. And when Susan was 13, she tried to take her own life. Now that is really young for someone to try to take their own life. I mean, I think we hear more about it now, maybe with the bullying and things of social media, but she was born in 1971, so 13, that would have been what, 84, mid 80s. I don't know. That wasn't the thing, Hey, y'all quit being ugly. Behave. Jovi is grumpy, guys. Jovi is grumpy. Get down. So, but mom starts seeing Bev, and he was well known. He was a very prominent Christian in the community, high standing ranks in the Christian coalition there in Union, South Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina. I think it's South Carolina. The sad part here, guys, and it makes me wonder, okay, this makes me kind of wonder some things. 82. Thanks, Mama Dukes. In my math, I don't math real well sometimes on the fly. But at 16, Susan tells her guidance counselor that her stepfather is molesting her. And the guidance counselor tells her to tell her mother. So this was definitely in a time where we just didn't talk about that kind of abuse. Things were swept under the rug. They didn't have the training and stuff that we have now to get help for people, right? And we were told to just get over things a lot. We really were. And so they go talk to mom. Mom talks to Bev, and Bev goes away for a little bit and gets counseling and apologizes and feels horrible about what he did. And so comes back to the family. Comes back to the family, right? I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. If you hurt my child in that manner, you're not coming back to my family. You're just not. Now, was Bev... maybe he was the sole provider and she was totally dependent on him, and that was a factor. I don't know. However, the relationship continued in that manner for years, even up to the time that the boys were murdered. Hey, Jovi, I'm gonna make you go to your kennel. Now quit. Problem is, it's one of my puppies, my senior citizen dog, decided to come into heat after 3 days. Get down. Get. Dude. Lord, it's going to be a night with this one. He's tried to eat a chicken twice this week. The one for Steph, the one for Darlie Routier, the season episode 1 of Moms Who Kill. Thank you, my loves. So, was she groomed for this very odd sexual behavior? I mean, it kind of sounds that way. Was the relationship with her bio dad like that? And that's why because she started out with Bev, she would lay on his chest and she would curl up in his lap and do things like that. So it's just weird. It's just very, very, very weird. Her foundation was seriously broken as a child. I'm just not even. So she goes on through school. She graduates in, I believe it's 89. I have 19 written here and didn't finish writing the rest of it. Was multitasking today. Should not multitask. She begins work at a local grocery store right out of graduation. And in that grocery store, she starts seeing a couple different men, right? One of them happens to be a married man. I want to say they said he was in his 50s, 40s, No, I take it back. He was 38. Hell, I don't know. I had the age wrong. I'm not even gonna promise I have that age right. Let's just go there. But he was older, way old, and they were like, we don't even understand why she had the affair with him. He was ugly. He was not attractive. He was not appealing. There was nothing about him that would have been alluring. You're fine, Steph. You work nights. I woke you up. And he breaks it off with her, right? And this is when she tries to take her life again. And at this time, they diagnose her with adjustment disorder. Now I meant to look that up because honestly, I've never heard of adjustment disorder. So let's look that up real quick. Adjustment disorder is a group of symptoms such as stress, feeling sad or hopeless, and physical symptoms that it can occur after you go through a stressful life event. These symptoms occur because you are having a hard time coping. Okay. So they label that. And right around this time, she also meets David, her husband. He becomes her husband with a year later. They're closer in age. I think he was like 2 years older than her. Now, he was from a very strict Jehovah's Witness home. His family was religious, Jehovah's Witness, and very strict. When they get married, she's 2 months pregnant with Michael, okay? Within a year of that, they're stricken with a bunch of tragedies. It's really sad. It really is. There's David's brother dies unexpectedly from Crohn's disease, complications with that disease that he had. They weren't expecting it. It just was very sudden. And then within a year later, or a few months later, within that year, the dad attempted to take his own life, and Susan found him. And they were able to get him to the hospital and save his life. But they're just struggling really bad here emotionally. So they have a lot of arguments. David and Susan argue a lot. They are, let's face it, they're young guys. They're young. They've got financial troubles. They're arguing over money. David admits that a lot of their arguments are over money, and they got physical. They would fight physically. And she would threaten to leave, and he picked her up one night and put her on the front porch and tossed her, kind of like dropped her on the front porch and said, go. And he says he was a lousy husband. I think they were just young and probably toxic. I think they were both probably toxic. She gets a new job at Consa Products and quickly moved up. And it was funny. I thought it was funny. They were like, she got a raise at $6 an hour. And I'm thinking, holy crap, $6 an hour. And then I remembered this was late 80s, early 90s. $6 an hour was big money. Sad that it's been that long that was big money, right? And she works up and ranks pretty quickly. And she starts dating the owner's son. And he's considered the cream of the crop, best, bachelor of the year kind of thing. His name is Tom Finley. And while they're seeing each other, they go out a lot, and she is feeling wined and dined. And her and David both had a lot of affairs while they were married, right? And back up just a little bit before this, there were a lot of affairs on both sides. And lost my train of thought. Part of it is I realized I said and I always have somebody that comments, you always say you say all the time. Why do you say Because I do. I'm being sassy, sorry. And so they ended up trying to just live together and have separate lives, have an open marriage kind of thing, and that ended up being disastrous too, probably added to the fuel with these arguments they were having. And so as she's seeing Tom, she starts getting this picture that she's fixing to be a single mother. Her and David have separated. They're talking divorce. And this man's got money. She wouldn't ever have to worry about having to work again and take care of her children or not be able to see her kids and things like that. So she starts picturing this life with him. And it dawns on him, this isn't what he's wanting. She they go out one night. They're at a restaurant and David sees them and he fights with Tom. He assaults him. And in this assault, they gets very heated. And and he's still having an affair, right? David's got a girl. He's dating this chick, but yet his wife's dating somebody and he's pissed off about it. Sorry, dude, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And while they're kind of going about business, and Tom's like, nah, I don't want to do this. So he writes her the Dear John letter, basically. And he just tells her, the whole, it's not me, it's not you, it's me kind of thing. And that he doesn't want children. He's never wanted children. And he doesn't think it's fair for them to be together when he can't commit that way, and on and on and on. And she's devastated, right? She is totally devastated. She goes and she confronts him. She's trying to convince him to take her back. She's doing all the poor, pitiful me's. Yeah, she can't imagine anything past this. Well, then she informs him she was having an affair with his dad. I can't with her. I can't. So in this argument with him, she's telling him, you don't understand. David's going to out things in my family that's going to be embarrassing to my family. I can't do this. I can't do this. And what we find out later on is what David was going to tell the public in this divorce, because he's so pissed off, is that little Susan was still sleeping with her stepfather. The molestation that had started as a child has turned into a full-blown affair that she now says is consensual, and that she was jealous of her mother and all the attention she got. And so she's having an affair. So she's married. She's having an affair with Tom. She's having an affair with his dad. She's having an affair with her stepdad and these other men. It's all over the place with this girl. And that's why I wonder if she wasn't sexually abused at an early age from the bio dad, and they've never said that. And I don't like to put that allegation out there, but statistically, when they're that promiscuous, something's going on, right? So she leaves that day and she picks up the boys and they go get pizza, and they're eating dinner, and she puts them in the car. She straps them in the car seats. The neighbors, in one of the books I had read, and I meant to pull that up today because I couldn't remember if the lights were left on or the lights were left off, and they found that strange. I don't remember which one it was, but there was something about the house the neighbors thought was kind of strange. And as she's driving around, she really is feeling hopeless. She's feeling gutted. She's totally just wrecked by this, right? Because here again, we've had a whole nother instance where her life has been ripped apart, and they have already said she cannot handle changes. The change in life for her, she doesn't mentally process it like normal people would. It becomes one little bad thing is totally devastating to her. And she's driving around, and her first thought is she's going to go to the high bridge, and she is going to walk up the high bridge or get out of her car on top of it. Either way, put both babies, one on each hip, and jump off the bridge, because she can't imagine her babies living without her, or who would take care of them, right? So she's going to take them with her. First clue of how selfish this woman is, okay? First clue. So then she decides there's too much traffic, and she goes driving, and she goes to John D. Lake's little lake there. And she says, according to her, she pulls up to the ramp. She puts it in neutral. She takes the parking brake off, and it goes forward, and she stops it. Very narcissistic, Dana, very narcissistic. Bitch Talk says, like normal people. Define that for me, please. Yeah, I don't know many of those, but you know. Rebrand, hello. And so she does this a couple of times, and then she gets out of the car. She's changed her story a couple of times on whether she thought it was in park or she panicked and tried to get out and say, you know, she just gets out of the car basically and lets the car slowly go into the water with the baby strapped in their car seats. And they did a reenactment, and Kendall and I searched for this reenactment today because it used to be online. You used to could find it. We couldn't find it anywhere. I found bits and pieces. So I do have, I'm going to play that in a little bit because they did a reenactment to prove just how this went down with the exact same kind of car. The boys' weights were put in the car seats. Everything was identical just to see how the car would proceed into the water and timing and all of that. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Bodie. Quit. They're tormenting Gizmo. She runs to the nearest house, crying, banging on their door. And the one thing she does is the one thing that could have gotten somebody killed. Okay. She claims a black man carjacked her and took her babies. Said he didn't have time for her to take it out. You know, he had time for a conversation, right? But didn't have time for her to take the babies out of the car. It's not how those go down. Anyways. So, the law gets involved. You know, they call 911. They are searching for this car, searching for this black male. They do a composite sketch. And what she could have done then, what this could have led to, was somebody seeing a man that they think resembles this sketch, right? And take matters into their own hands. Vigilante justice happens. I have a case I want to talk about. That's another older case. That's a vigilante case, and it's crazy. It's a crazy case, but this could have happened that way. Thank God it didn't. But we're talking about mid-90s when we weren't a woke generation. People weren't as nice and open about race. I remember having a conversation with somebody in 97 that was still very, very one-sided on there shouldn't be any interracial relationships. They thought that was wrong. So even in later 90s, this was a problem. Race was an issue. Yeah, Kendall, that reenactment just wasn't nowhere. I thought maybe it was me, but you couldn't find it. Then I don't know what happened. I guess they just somehow or another it's all been removed. Found one site that said they had it. They wanted me to pay, and I wasn't paying. And so for 9 days, and let me find them real quick. Let's see. Let's see. All of this stuff pops up. Nope, it's not going to be in that. So I had so many things opened up. Now I'm trying to figure out where it all is. Bear with me, please. Oh, and it's not going to let me find it that way. Gosh darn it. Well, this is irritating because I had it. No, it's not going to be those. Ha! There it is. It's a little bit different on my computer. I don't know why it changes how it organizes all that. Okay, let's hold on. So, do I want to do that one? So let's go. I don't think that's going to have what I want because it's going to have them talking, and I don't want them talking. All right, let's do this one. This one. I think this one will show. All right.
More than 8 days since Susan Smith claims a carjacker stole her 2 babies. What everyone hoped would be a joyous appearance by Susan and David Smith becomes yet another anguished plea.
I would like to say to whoever has my children that they please bring them home to us where they belong.
Right on to the next one. So, did you see her face? Did you notice the eyes closed? No wrinkles here. There's no stress. She will not look at the cameras. Every interview she did, she wouldn't open her eyes. Sister Knives. Sister Knives says, I remember this case so vividly. I was 16 and lived in Lexington, Kentucky at the time. This was in Union. Is it South Carolina or North Carolina? I'll tell you. Hold on. South Carolina. Union, South Carolina. I was thinking South, but then I'm like, wait, was it North? I didn't. Union was what I had. But I was watching the behavior panel talk about it, and everything that she did, her eyes were always closed or she was looking down. She did a lot of funny things with her mouth, and there was never anything here in her forehead. And you know, when you're, I'm sorry, a mother that is upset about somebody taking her children, there's going to be some front. There were never any tears when she cried. Every interview where she cries, there's no tears. Her eyes aren't even red and puffy. My eyes would be so red and puffy that I probably wouldn't be able to open them completely. I can't. And that was suspicious. People were catching on to that quickly. Very quickly, they caught on to that. So within 2 days, law enforcement said 2 days is all it took for them to go, something's wrong. Something ain't adding up. So she claimed, hey, Bella, she claimed that she was at a stoplight. And at this stoplight was when this black male come up to the car with a gun and made her get out and take the car. The problem with that, the city came back and they're like, it's impossible. Nobody saw. Nobody saw anything. Because she said, no, there was nobody there. And I looked here and I looked there and there was no cars. At that particular light, in order for that light to stay red long enough for somebody to come up with a gun and get her out, there would have had to have been cars at the other lights. So they asked her about it. She's like, well, I was wrong. It wasn't at that light. I was outside of town in this town right next over that it happened. So she started tripping up. Susan Smith is the modern day Chris Watts, says Sister Knives. Absolutely. Other than she didn't take his life. But she's narcissistic. Oh my God. The stuff that goes on with her. And you would think when she goes to jail that it would just die down, but it doesn't. It gets worse, right? So they're starting to trip her up, okay? They're like, something's not adding up here. And there's a spot on my computer that's driving me nuts. There we go. And they bring her in 9 days after all of this. She's been on all of these appearances on TV. You would think she would get practiced enough to fake it, but she doesn't. And she's tripping over her words. She starts to say certain things and corrects herself. And there just wasn't any emotion. It was fake emotion. You could see fake emotion rolling off of this chick, right? They bring her in and they are kind of laying it down on her, right? They're like, we know your story doesn't add up. Couldn't lie herself out of a paper bag. Dana says, nope, at all. And so as they're kind of finally pressing her a little bit more, they say she collapses and she starts crying and she says she did it. And that she never meant to just hurt them. It was supposed to be her. She was supposed to die with them and blah, blah, blah. So, or maybe I should say yada, 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 because it's kind of a Letitia Stout thing. After watching Gannon's trial for Letitia Stout, the people yada, 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 that's the first thing I think of. Kendall says, just seems to have daddy issues and needs a man's attention at all costs. Absolutely. Seriously, is it because her dad died at such an early age, or was it the abuse? Oh, we're talking food. So they trip her up. Where is that interview? Hold on. Which one is that? Because I have. Oh, it's going to be over here. Or do I not have it? Oh, man, did I lose it? Where did I put that? Maybe it's in this file. Hold on. Why is that? I did not tell you to play. All right, let's go over here. Here it is. This is the one that I want. All right. So, wrong way. Hold on. I'm coming back. So this here is the sled officer that talked her in to confessing, right?
Smith, to tell the truth after so many days of denial, how difficult was that?
It was difficult, particularly she had been interviewed on several occasions before and was actually given a polygraph before. So when I went up there, started the interview, I knew in my own.
She had failed 2 polygraphs, guys. 2. Failed them. Miserably failed them.
Mind that I couldn't be hard on her, because the last time somebody got difficult with her and hollered at her, she walked out of the interview. I knew that's what I was facing. And I also knew, John, that if we didn't get something out of Susan Smith, the case may not have been solved, because only she and the man upstairs knew what she did. Nobody else.
Yeah, see, they had no physical evidence. They had nothing. There were no, in that time, there were no cameras. There was like no ring cameras and all that would have caught the car in that area. They didn't have cell phone pings to prove that she was in that area. So this was a time when you could actually probably have gotten away with something like this if you were good at lying. And she's just not very good at it. So they just had to trip her up somehow.
Nobody else saw it. Nobody else proved it. So I knew it was difficult, so I took it very slowly. 5 days of interviews to get to the end of it. Well, actually, I have to give credit to a maintenance man in the area who knew that the traffic light, where she says the kidnap occurred, doesn't turn red if there's no cars at the intersection. It's always green. And she was saying that she was stopped there, and that's where she was kidnapped. And so when I confronted her with that, I finally got the truth out of her. And what I did, I gave her another avenue to go in. I gave her the avenue of, could this have happened somewhere else, because the light would have turned green and you wouldn't have been stopped. And finally, after a while, she went down that road and said, yes, it happened over here 10 miles away at a little town. And so then I knew that probably had her foot in the door and that she probably was going to tell us later on what happened. That turned the point. In fact, I told her to go home, and I said, go home and write a statement as to everything that happened when you went to the new place. She came in the next day with a statement in detail about it. And of course, the sheriff and I then decided, well, we'll tell her we had a surveillance of the place. And when we did that, it kind of went down. It went downhill for her, and she finally confessed.
So it's very common for law enforcement to fudge their stories a little bit to get people to talk. And it's legal. They can do that. They can lie to you like crazy to get you to spill the beans. And that's what they were doing. They were just kind of giving little things to kind of keep pushing her. I mean, I think they realized they had her right on the cusp of being able to talk. And she wasn't going to be that hard to push if they did it the right way.
And when she confessed, what kind of emotion did she show?
She dropped to the floor on her knees and crying hysterically. And it appeared to be a true lying. Maybe she's lying now because she got caught. And she's, it's a combination. Or she's lying about reliving what happened. Could be, either way.
And was that when she told you where the boys were?
Yeah.
The children were?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how did she say that?
She said, well, you won't find the boys. I think something to the effect they're with the car in the water. And then she later on told us in detail about what her in mind was. When the car was rolling, she realized something was really wrong. She said she tried to go in. She wanted to go in and stop the car.
But mind you, she was not wet, guys. She wanted to go in and stop the car, right? She wanted to, but she wasn't wet. Her feet weren't wet. Her legs weren't wet. Her hair wasn't wet. Nothing was wet on this chick. She didn't try to go in and stop that car.
But didn't know how to put the brakes on and everything with the car rolling. Whether or not you want to believe that or not, that's questionable.
That's questionable. I like him. It's questionable. All right, let's see. We got a few comments here. Kendall says, I can understand the abuse really messing her up. But if she was always looking for love, then why kill the only two that gave her unconditional love? Exactly. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't compute. Dana says around 50% of girls in the generation were sexually abused, and we didn't kill our children. This is true. Right. Bitch Talk says, I mean, they can lie, but if you have nothing to hide and telling the truth, there's nothing to confess. Right. That's why, I mean, they'll do that when they get those little hints of things going on. And up to this point, her family and David are believing her, right? They don't see her as the killer. And they get the bad news, right? They go in and they pull the car out and they find the babies. And the different things I read talked about the rescue diving team had to have therapy. And that this was very traumatic for them because, the babies had been in that water for 9 days. That does some horrible things to a body. And now, mind you, they wouldn't have been doing this, but one of the hands was on the window, touching the window, and that just broke these rescue people. It broke my heart. I just can't imagine. And Michael and Alexander were buried together in the same casket with their hands holding, and that to me I lost it. 5,000 people, over 5,000, showed up for this funeral. President Clinton at the time, Bill Clinton was president, he sent flowers even to this funeral. This was a big deal in 94. This was huge. We were just coming. We were still in Germany, I think. So we were hearing it through the wavelengths that way. I'm trying to remember, when did we come back from Germany? No, we were back. We were back because we were only there for 2 years. And this set a precedent, guys. This Susan Smith's case made any other case out there looked at harder. This is why, in my opinion only, why they threw the book the way they did at Darlie Routier, because of Susan Smith. Kendall says they used the read technique during her interrogation. Thank you, Kendall. And so the family finds out after she's arrested, and they're floored. They're shocked. David, in an interview, says that during the trial, he wanted her dead. He sat there and just pictured taking her life. And he was like, it would take me this amount of seconds to get to this, and this amount of seconds to do this. And it would take that guard this amount of seconds to get to me. So I would have this amount of time. Like he said, he planned it in his head, and he just wanted to take her life for what she had done to their boys. He did remarry and have 2 more children, and I guess is doing wonderful. I didn't want to dig up that family information because I think those babies need privacy. Their life, they don't deserve the drama that comes from this. So in trial, they are seeking the death penalty. I think manslaughter was put on there and first-degree murder. Now, if they would have found her guilty of manslaughter, she'd have been out, I think, in 15 years. I think it's 3 to 15. Thank God they didn't do that. Now, and honestly, her attorneys at this point, she was sunk. She had tested. She was going down, right? No jury was going to come back and say not guilty. They were either going to do manslaughter or first-degree murder. So at this point, just like with Jodi Arias's attorney, Kirk Nurmi, his only job was saving her life. And Kirk did the same thing. And that's what these attorneys did. They do the trial, and they are really focused on the mental health aspect. They're trying to say that her mental health is why it tanked and she just couldn't cope and all of these things. And even though I agree with that with Andrea Yates, I do not agree with it here, because she was attention seeking. She wasn't getting her way with the man, and the stress in her life with the babies. Removing them could give her any man she wanted, right? And her eyes, which is another, it's like dying down, freaking thinking they're, God's gift to all men on earth. And they really focus hard on the mental health and the sexual abuse. Bev gets on stand, and he has a letter that he's written, and he apologizes to Susan, and he apologizes to the court, and he says that his actions with her through her life are a result, or caused this. These actions were a result from that, and that he had a hand to play in her actions because of what he did. Hey, at least he owned it, right? I don't know why he was still in her life, why the mother didn't just that man out of there. She's still married to him. She finds out he's been having an affair with her daughter since she was 16 years old. I know that was loud. Sorry if you had earbuds in. I hit the mic. Yeah, Andrea Yates was truly ill. And Andrea Yates even they just did a hearing last year for her to have early release, and she said no, she didn't want out. I'm going to do Andrea's story too, because it's one that's very near and dear to me. It's not that far. I'm actually going to go on scene. I think I'll drive over there and go to the neighborhood. Yeah, right, Kendall. Wow. I mean, he admits it. He gets on stand and he admits what he did caused a lot of this, but the mother stays. Rebrand, did you say that you did a live on Darlie Routier? And if so, what's the title and approximate date? Yes, I did rebrand. Bitch dropped the link up above. It's in the playlist under Moms Who Kill. It's episode number 1. I don't know, Steph, if you can go get that again. Please, ma'am. You're the bestest ever. Yeah, wow, just wow is the only words. I agree. Did they have intensive therapy is what I want to know. Did they go through intensive therapy and really work through this and he get like some serious help because he's got some issues. Serious issues. Thank you, bitch. There you go, rebrand. I need to get my letters out from Darlie and write her again. I haven't wrote her in a while. Darlie is a very near and dear case to me too, guys. I have strong opinions on that one. Y'all be nice. My dogs are not wanting to behave tonight, guys. So they get through the trial. The jury comes back with a verdict in 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. I have to know, is that a record on coming back? Is that a record on a jury coming back for the guilty plea? On a murder trial? They found her guilty of first-degree murder. And 2.5 hours. Dana says, Darlie was just unlikable. I believe the evidence proved that she did not do it. In that time, in that part of Texas, Darlie was what was seen as a harlot. And the one juror even said, moms don't dress like that and bleach their hair. Well, I was dressing like that and bleaching my hair. Kendall says, child abuse is not a get out of jail free card. Most of us experience child abuse, but we don't kill our children. Exactly. Hannah Gutierrez came back in 2 hours. Okay. So that's another fast one. Bitch, did you think she did it before my life, or were you always, did you think she was innocent before my life, or were you always, or I'm not saying that right. Were you guilty or innocent before that live that I did? There we go. I think that's how I'm trying to say it. Lord, I should have drank coffee or something, guys. So then the penalty phase starts, right? They go in and they have to do the penalty phase, and they come back. It's either life with parole after 30 or the death penalty. Kendall, which case? Darlie's case? Reprint says, I had child abuse issues and didn't kill my kids despite telling my boys I was allowed to take them out. I used to tell mine, I brought you into this world and I will take you out. And then my kids turned it on me and said, well, open back up because we're coming in. My kids are awful, y'all. They're sarcastic. Journey with heart and soul. Welcome. My son is currently on a healing journey after he saw his ex try to drown their daughter. My granddaughter is currently living with me while he's healing journey from the damaged ex, but put him through, that the ex put him through. I am so very sorry for what your family is going through. Hug that baby for me. Hug that baby. Kendall and I are working on a couple of cases of girlfriends who have taken the lives of their boyfriend's children, and it is gut-wrenching. Rebrand, exactly. Teenage boys suck. It's because my sons that I know why animals eat their young. Oh, wow. I love it. Yeah, boys are a totally different thing. My grandson he'll be 13 in August, and my daughter calls me and she's like, Mom, can you remove the curse? You know, the grandparents' curse that we put on our children. And I'm like, oh no, no. Boys are awful. They will make you go ew on so many levels. They are something. They are a whole different breed of life, right? Well, they come back and they send her to prison for life. So she gets parole, right? She's up for parole in November. I think it's November 4th is her parole hearing. What do y'all think? Do y'all think she'll get parole? If you're watching on Mosaic, email me, True Crime Uncorked. What do you think? Do you think she'll get parole? We're going to cover it. I'm definitely going to be coming back and going, here's what happened with her parole hearing. Rebrand says, my grandson turns 13 next week, and you bet your ass I put that grandmother's curse on him. Oh, I love it. Because I can spoil him and send him home and go, nanny, nanny, boo, boo. So she's up for parole in November. Now, life for her in prison has been something, right? Y'all, she gets in trouble for sex stuff, right? can't make this stuff up. So let's see, what year was it? In 2000, she tested positive for an STD, right? So they're like, how did you get an STD in prison? There's no men here other than guards. And so she admits to having sex 4 times with Houston Cagle. So, and I have his information. Hold on. What did I do with it? Okay, here it is. Let's share this. Let's go. Let me show you all this article. Kendall says she's very sexually driven, so there's got to be a connection somehow to the sexual abuse. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Dana, why do all the other girls get the sex? I don't think you want it in that aspect. Let's just say it. Let's see. It's going to be over here. Yep, this is it. All right. So prison guard. This was August 31st of 2000. Prison guard fired for having sex with murderer's mom. Columbia, South Carolina, August 31st. A South Carolina prison guard will be fired after admitting he had sex at least 4 times this year. This year, guys. Okay, were there more before? With Susan Smith, who is serving life sentence for the drowning deaths of her 2 young sons in 1994, prison officials said on Thursday. Houston Cagle, a 13-year veteran of South Carolina Department of Corrections, was suspended without pay after admitting he had sex with Smith at the Women's Correctional Institution in May and June, department spokesman John Barkley said. This is a situation we take extremely seriously, Barkley said. He said the sexual encounters occurred at 4 different locations on the prison grounds. Cagle had worked at the women's prison since 1996. It's a violation both of our agency policy and state law. It's a felony for our employees of the Department of Corrections to have sexual relationships with an inmate. Duh. Like, that's kind of like common sense, right? The crime is a felony punishable by a 10-year prison sentence. Barkley said in an investigation discovered the relationship while looking into tabloid allegations that Smith had been beaten. He said there were no indications that Susan was beaten or that she had a relationship with other male officers at the prison. David Thomas, chairman of the South Carolina Senate's Correction and Penology Committee, said this puts South Carolina in a very bad light nationwide. You think? But it happens. It does happen. This isn't the only prison that it's happened in. It happens, sadly. These guards take advantage. And no matter how promiscuous she is, guys, he was in a position of authority and he is wrong 10 times over. He is wrong. He said his committee planned a special hearing next month to investigate sexual encounters and other misconduct between inmates and officers. It may be that what we're seeing is only the tip of the iceberg. And then that goes on some more. So we have this officer, right? Or prison guard. and he's in trouble. You know, he I mean, he was fired in 3 months probation, I guess it was. He didn't serve jail time. But then again, in 2001, Alfred Rowe was fired and given 5 years of probation. Or maybe the other one did serve time, because one served time and one didn't. But this guy, y'all, this here is it's the Cellmate Secret Susan Smith exclusive peek. Let's hope they don't strike me. They shouldn't, because it's small. But y'all got to listen to this. These people, right? I can't.
She was wanting
Go back.
to be moved. She then said, hey.
Hold on. It won't back up.
Alfred is arrested, and his wife is confronted with the realization that her husband had illegal sex with the one person in this world she reviles the most.
Which one do I want to choke first? My heart was being ripped.
Your husband, honey, he was a guard. He was in a position of authority, and he took advantage. Just saying. I digress.
I knew she was being destroyed. I regretted to have to tell my children I made a mistake, and I allowed it. I had the power to say no, and I did.
While freely admitting his own guilt, Alfred believes Susan had an ulterior motive for her actions.
She was wanting,
Of course, deflect from what you did, dude. Deflect. That's fine.
to be moved. She then said, hey, maybe this is what I need, a big enough scandal here at the Women's Center that they'll move me to Greenwood. And then my mom can drive to see me.
Within weeks of the incident, Susan Smith is transferred to Leith Correctional in Greenwood, and Alfred Rowe's life, as he knows it, comes to an abrupt end.
I was terminated officially on October 6th of 2000.
But this guy has made the rounds, y'all. He has been all over. Like, he did Dr. Oz, and now Bodie's playing with the dog pit bull. He did Dr. Oz and all these other interviews. He made the rounds. So I question him a little bit. So Rebrand says, wait a second. Season 3 of Love After Lockup, a female guard was just visiting a male inmate, and she actually got jail time. It's crazy. It's crazy. What? Full disclosure, I was watching Get the Backstory on Heather Gillespie as I slink away. I've been meaning to watch some of that. Wait, it's been a month already, Steph? Oh, wow. Whoop, whoop. My screen is blurred. Is it better? Do what you bitch. Yes, Dana. He was the one with strength. He made more of a mistake. I agree. I agree. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, wait. Go back there. Can't believe it's been a month. Wow. I didn't think it had been that long. It may have blurred because of my internet. I'm going to have to get them to get the higher powered internet for when I stream things. Kegel or Kegel? The sad thing is I thought of that when I seen it. What I was playing was blurred. It may be my internet because I changed internets and they may have to go up. Yeah, see, I told y'all, don't hide about watching it, because I've got friends that watch it, and that's why I need to watch it so I know what the hell they're talking about. So she's had 2 encounters with men that we know of. In that Cellmate show, I highly recommend going and watching that. I found it on Hulu. They really talk about her behavior. Like, she is very manipulative in there. She convinces this one girl that's very young that this girl goes in, and her mom tells her, you go in there, you find the biggest bitch, and you beat the crap out of her, and you that way they don't mess with you. And so she was immediately gonna fuck with Susan because she killed her kids, and she just thought that that would be the thing to do, and she ended up liking her and ended up being her workhorse. Like, she had her working for her, doing things and going to the other prisoners and getting dope from them for her, and like, she was the underling for Susan. And this girl even brags, I laugh because she brags on the show about she was selling dildos inside the prison. She knew how to make them, and she showed them on the show how she made them. And things that go on, I'm just hilarious. It's called Cellmate. What's it called? Hold on, let me pull it up. It's over here. Cellmate Secrets is on Hulu. Is what I found it on Hulu. It may be in other places, but I found it on Hulu. And so David doesn't want her out of prison. He has moved on somewhat. He hasn't totally forgiven, I don't think. But he doesn't want her out of prison. He thinks she needs to stay there, and I agree. She needs to stay there. She literally was writing this one man, and these letters went crazy on the internet because I guess family member found it, and they gave it to the news people, and it went nuts. But she tells him she would make an amazing stepmother to his 2 children. No, she wouldn't, dude. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. She took her lives of her 2 babies that she gave birth to. She's not going to make a good mother. Just saying. Don't do it. And the family found out about these letters and found out that he was in this relationship with her and threw a fit, and so he broke it off. So I don't know if she's still in a relationship with anybody, but that one broke off, and she's excited to get out in November when she's paroled, so she thinks. We'll see. I'm curious to see if she's paroled or not. I'm kind of, I mean, she's way up in the prison. Like, she works in the cafeteria. She teaches the GED classes, I think it was. She was working in the visitation room, helping take care of children while they were visiting. Keep Brian Anderson away from her. I don't know. Maybe he would be better with her. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that he's. Shut up. Shut up. I just need to shut up. Kendall says her children don't get to live her life, so she doesn't deserve to ever be free. I agree. Oh, y'all are over here talking. I know what y'all talking about because I watch the show. I need to go watch the show. Not that I have time to watch the show because I'm. Ren Fair is coming up, guys. I have Ren Fair in a month. If I turned my little back screen thing off, you would see the boxes I've got piled behind me of cups that I've got to get out, figure out what I have, and start making stuff. I've got a lot to make. A lot to make. So here we are with it. Like, does she get out of prison? Guess we'll see. Her behavior is weird. She's very, and she's a celebrity in prison, guys. She gets lots of money sent to her. Her commissary is crazy, so she was buying other inmates' commissary and making them welcome packages when they come in to be friends with him. can't. So anyways, that is our case of Susan Smith, baby killer. She took the lives of beautiful, beautiful Michael and Alex. Alex was just starting to walk really good, they said. You know, he was still kind of unstable and cute. And, yeah, sick people that take a life and then get famous. The problem is, Kendall, that's our fault. We make them famous. Cellmate Secrets is on the higher paid Hulu's. Oh, I'm glad I watched it since that ends in 2 weeks because I canceled it. I'm so glad I don't watch TV. Yeah, I mean, look at it going with Gypsy, guys. We make them famous. We're all at fault for it because we want to know all the details, and social media and the internet, we have everything at our fingertips, and so we make them famous, sadly. And it's not even famous, it's infamy, but still sad. It's just sad. So, alrighty. Well, I'm going to call it a night early tonight, guys. Unless y'all got other things we want to talk about, I can end it on Mosaic and we can gossip. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to end it on Mosaic so they can go on to watching the other movies that they have playing. And if you're watching on Mosaic, have a good night, and I'll see y'all next Thursday. There we go. That's so easy. I'm amazed at how easy that is. There's been a few of the school shooters that said beforehand that they did it to get famous and be the worst. Yep. That's why they're trying to get them to not talk about so much of what goes on in their minds and their journals. Sadly, I'm torn. I understand that, but then I want to know. Because if we don't know, we can't change things. We do have so much to do, Kendall. So much to do. In so little time. I need a clone. But why hate, Jana says, but why hate Gypsy more than Ruby? Ruby Frank? I don't. See, the thing is, I don't hate Gypsy. I don't. I am not as soft on her as I was. And that's because of how her and her family played me. So I'm just a little hardened there, except that I can understand why Gypsy's like she is. But Ruby Frank is scary, and I have that case file. I want to talk about it, but I need to have some time to really go through it. Journey with Heart and Soul. We have gun laws in Australia that you need a license. Okay, well, see here, you have to do a background check. You have to. We do have federal laws that you have to go in and purchase a weapon and give your ID, and they do a background check, and you have to be a certain age. The problem is, like with the Crumbleys, with the Oxford school shooting, they bought him the gun and they didn't keep it locked up properly. Now, the sad thing is that I didn't keep mine locked up like that when mine were young. A different time, maybe, I guess. So when we have pretty good laws. Now, they are working on changing them because, like, you can go to the gun shows, and not everybody, now everyone I've ever bought a gun from at a gun show, I had to fill out the paperwork and have the background check, but evidently not everybody does that. So there are a way of buying weapons that way, and you can buy secondhand. Like, I can find somebody on the internet that's selling theirs, and I can go buy it without any kind of background check. I am of the firm opinion that we should have background checks no matter what. If I am selling a weapon secondhand, I should be required to put information in online of the person buying the weapon and make sure that they're allowed to have the weapon before I sell it. I think that's my legal responsibility. So I think that that's important. And I think that's things that need to be changing with our gun laws. Other countries do have stricter laws than us. But I'm a gun rights person as well. I believe we have the right to own them. I just think we need stricter laws with owning them. Rebrand says, I can appreciate why Gypsy is the way she is, but that doesn't give her an excuse to do what she did. No, it doesn't. And she paid her time for it. I mean, if we can be mad about the time she served, take that on with Missouri. You know what I mean? Missouri, that was Missouri's call. They could have taken it to trial. I think there's several reasons why they didn't. They didn't want the heat coming on their medical system for what had gone down. Just out of chat, getting ready. I have to know about this plaid thing. Oh, yeah, I have to talk to you about that. I'll message you later. I have a lot to tell you. We have a lot to talk about. Because the trauma community kind of went nuts this week, too. Rebrand says, at 18, I was told I could get away with murder because of what I've been through. That was at 18. I had worse things happen to me within months of that. I didn't go out and kill anyone. The same. I did have a doctor tell me that, too. That they were surprised I had not become one. Yes. Kendall says, Rebrand, exactly. So many people forget a woman died and no child abuse or medical abuse or grooming or manipulation excuses that. I have a different opinion of Dee Dee, but that's because I've had lots of conversations with people. No, she didn't deserve to lose her life. She deserved to be in prison. Have a good night at work, bitch. Dana says, I missed all that too. Y'all don't want to know. Y'all don't want to know. Let me just say, Dana, Christy is no longer welcome here. And yeah. They fucked with the wrong one. But now I'm the reason for everything. So go figure. I'm the reason that she sued or was supposedly filing charges or whatever it is she was doing to Fancy. I'm the reason all of the drama happened. Did y'all know that? I am the reason for all of that. Find that funny. Considering the amount of people that I've had conversations with that were involved in all that drama is like less than a handful. And the one person who says that it was me literally was in everybody's inbox. Everybody's inbox. From Fancy to me, to Ryan, to Natasha, to Christy, to Bree, to Katie Joy, I think. Well, she might not have been a Katie Joyce. I'll take that back. She might not have been a Katie Joyce. And everybody's. And telling each and every one of us shitty things about the other. But me and Mama Dukes was behind it all, according to them. This crap started, December, January? Mama Dukes and I didn't talk till March. March or February. Mama Dukes, March or February? It was March. Yeah. We hadn't talked since 2019. So I love how we were behind all of it. I just love that. I love that. All I can say is it's pushed me towards a direction of new friends and better people. So Rebrand, damn, I thought you were tight with Christy. I can't keep up with all the drama. Oh, must be because I don't tightly follow it all. Oops. I thought I was, Rebrand. I thought I was. We can talk bullshit if we need to. I thought it was March, Mama Dukes. I thought it was March. So yeah. Yeah, it has been a nightmare. But you know, my opinions on Gypsy have shifted. They've shifted. Now, do I think she's playing people right now? Yes, I do, guys. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Me being in defense of the abuse that she went through and the choices she made doesn't take away from the fact that I don't think she's being okay now. So, Journey says, oh my God, she needs to take accountability for her actions instead of passing the buck. She needs to fix her own problems within herself. Exactly. This right here, this, no one in her circle should be encouraging her to move from one relationship to the other or air all of it out on social media and TMZ. Nothing in her life is ever going to work as long as she keeps doing that. Mama Dukes, we can if you want to, or we can do it another time in a whole different stream. Kendall might want to come up for that one. Let's do it another night. Let's plan that on another day. Because I don't care. We can air it all. Hell, I've already aired all of it, I think. Oh, and by the way, just so y'all all know, I'll own it. I absolutely sent April my fancy pants, the conversation with the PR person. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. They want to play me and want to accuse me of everything. Here you go. And I'm out of the game. I had somebody message me about something that was going on with different creators. I said, I don't know. I don't care. They can eat each other. Don't care. Don't care. When I stepped out of it, I stepped out of it. And the only other thing I have left to do will be when Mama Dukes and I air all of it. They want to throw our names in the hat. We'll call the bluff. That's right, Kendall. We are on the bigger fish and more important people. People that actually need help, that need to be talked about, that need people watching and looking. And changes that need to happen in areas that are important. Hold on, I got to answer this text. Oh, it's only been, I don't know. But alrighty, guys, I'm going to end it because I have a very long day tomorrow because I'll be back here at 9:30 in the morning to talk a little bit about Waco and then air the Zoom memorial that they're having. If y'all want to come join me and talk about Waco and watch the memorial with everybody. It might be rebrand. It might be a parole violation. You're right, Kendall. I think I had 11 at one point. It's fine. My important people are here, and that's what counts. My important people are here. So tomorrow is Waco. I do need to do a membership live at some point. Back to jail episode. So, alrighty, guys. Well, let's call it a night. And if I don't see you guys tomorrow, y'all have a good weekend. Stay safe. I don't know what the weather's doing with everybody, but enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your family. And after this live, let's play this one more time real quick. Let's play this one more time. Good night, everybody.